Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to show you who is the most infamous king of Israel. Now if you're a fan of the Old Testament, you probably already know the answer to this question, but before we get into it, alright, so who is the most infamous king of Israel? Well, his name was Ahab. Now, Ahab was not the first king of Israel with that name. There were actually 3 kings of Israel named Ahab, but today I'm talking about the most famous one, Ahab, the son of Omri. He was the king of Israel during the 9th century BCE, and he's considered to be the worst king in the history of Israel. Why was he the worst king? Well, let me tell you. First of all, when Ahab came to power, he inherited a divided kingdom. The nation of Israel at that time was split into 2 separate kingdoms. You had the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. Both kingdoms had their own kings, but the king of northern Israel was Ahab. Now, Ahab ruled over Israel for 42 years, which was the longest reign of any king of Israel. But unfortunately, he led Israel into a period of moral decline. You see, when Ahab came to power, he married a woman named Jezebel, who was the daughter of Ethbaal, king of Tyre. Jezebel was a very beautiful woman, but she was also very wicked. She introduced the worship of Baal into Israel, and she persecuted the prophets of Yahweh, the God of Israel. And the most famous event during Ahab's reign was the confrontation which Elijah the prophet and the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. You see, Ahab's wife, Jezebel, was a devotee of Baal, and she wanted to get rid of Yahweh, the God of Israel, and replace him with Baal. So she built an altar to Baal and called all the prophets of Baal to come to her, and they gathered on Mount Carmel. Elijah, the prophet of Yahweh, confronted them and challenged them to a contest. He told them that if Yahweh was the true God, then he should send fire from heaven to consume his offering. And the people agreed to this challenge. And as soon as Elijah finished his prayer, fire came down from heaven and consumed his offering. Then Elijah killed all the prophets of Baal. But after that event, Jezebel became even more furious, and she vowed to kill Elijah. So Elijah ran away into the wilderness, and he stayed there for 40 days and 40 nights. When he came out of the wilderness, he encountered another prophet named Elisha, and he poured his mantle over him. This symbolized the passing of the prophetic mantle from Elijah to Elisha. And then Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind. But despite this confrontation with the prophets of Baal, Ahab continued to follow his wife's religion. He never repented of his sins. In fact, he only stopped worshipping Baal when his life was in danger. You see, the Bible says that Ahab was the worst king that Israel had ever had since the time of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who had turned Israel away from following Yahweh. Ahab also did something else really bad. He made a treaty with Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and together they invaded the Arabian desert. But they didn't just invade it for fun. They did it to capture some cities there, and Ahab thought he could do it without being punished by God. So he asked Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, to go into battle with him and take over some cities in the desert. Jehoshaphat asked Ahab, "Should we go to war against Aram?" And Ahab said, "Yes, let us go to Zarephath, where the king lives." So they assembled their armies and went to war. But the Lord said to Elijah, "Get up and go to Zarephath, where the king of Israel has gone, for I have a message of punishment and judgment for him." Elijah found the king sitting on his sickbed. He said, "I have done everything the Lord has commanded, but my heart is not at peace. The Lord spoke about me and my descendants. Surely there is a great sin among my people, so that they are not like the people of Israel. I will punish them as though they were the people of Israel." So that was the story of King Ahab, one of the worst kings of Israel. What can we learn from his story? Well, basically, we learn that no matter how powerful or successful we might become, if we turn away from God and follow our own desires, we will end up destroying ourselves. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. And also share this video with your friends and family. Until next time, stay awesome.